Christ, the best rapper.
Good old New York rap. Hey, yeah. True School. Live 97.5. Everything urban. It's Yours Radio Live. Donni-Oh. J-Mo.
Yes, indeed, bro.
Yeah. That was classic right there. Stay Hard. Styles P. Pete Rock and Smith and Wesson. You know what I mean? We're going to give you this right here just so they can feel where we're going.
That it. Yes, indeed.
This is where we going at right here. You know? This is where we going at.
1989!
The number!
Hey, the summer!
Hey, Sam the funky drummer!
Yes, indeed, bro!
Oh, man, yes, indeed. So, we were talking before, J-Mo, and we addressed it, I don't know how many times previously, but, you know, it seems to me that, it is what it is. Donald Trump has really put the battery in the back of a lot of people in this country.
Yes, indeed, bro.
And I mean, now, you know, before, if you didn't know, if you don't believe that there's racism, there's discrimination, there's bigotry in the United Snakes, it ain't states, United Snakes of America,
yes,
KKK, then you're in denial, you're a part of it, you're gaining from it, or you're just living under a rock.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're going to address someone locally. A lot of the stuff that we deal with, a lot of the stories that we deal with are national stories, national headlines, but this story in particular is local, tied in with everything nationally. So if you think that, okay, we're on the Eastern Shore, we're immune to the bigotry, the racism. If you live here for any amount of time, you know the Eastern Shore is the hub of racism.
You better believe it.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt about it.
So I know you're here, you're from here. If you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, whatever nationality, whatever ethnic group you want to attach yourself to, you can't deny that it does not exist here.
That's right.
So therefore, we're going to address, let me turn this music down. I'm going to turn this down real quick. I'm going to read this post. This is from Wicomico County Sheriff Mike Lewis, who is not a stranger to dealing with racism and how he feels about people of color.
That's right.
He's been on the Sean Hannity show.
Yeah, through the mayor of Baltimore of the bus.
Yeah. So he's been in the national spotlight before.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently that wasn't enough.
He likes to be.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. So he wanted to put his name in the ringer again.
Right.
Again, you know, obviously, you know, Trump is just giving these guys the cojones to just do and say whatever they feel like they can do and say with no, you know, repercussions.
Then he says, tells the news, he doesn't want to interview because guess what? It's self-explanatory. My post was self-explanatory.
And that's true. That's true. Why? His interview was right. You got any questions? It was right there.
That's
so
right.
There's no need to, you know, for that. Now it's up to us. What we gonna do? You know
what we gonna do about it?
So I'm gonna read the post. And it's been deleted, but obviously, you know, once you put it out there, somebody's gonna snap. You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna screenshot it.
That's right.
Somebody's gonna have a copy of it. It's not gone forever.
That's right.
So here it is. This is Mike Lewis, and this is dated October 15th, 9:29 p.m. Okay, and this is in reference to the Baltimore Ravens game. Okay, This is from last week. It says, today in Baltimore City, during the playing of our national anthem, let me turn this down, and under the watchful eyes of the Maryland State Trooper, and in other words, the slave catchers.
Yeah.
All right? That's what it is. These poor, self-proclaimed, underprivileged, fist-wielding black power activists took a knee while Baltimore City's homicide rate soared to an all-new high for 2017. Okay, now we're mixing apples with oranges, but come on, we're gonna keep it going. Okay, now this is still Mike Lewis. Meanwhile, just a few blocks away remain the bloody crime scenes where hundreds of young black men were shot and killed, seriously injured, maimed, or disfigured by one of their own. Facts. Let's keep going. These same activists do nothing but decry the hardworking men and women of American law enforcement who respond to their cries for help. False. We're going to address that. I say kudos to the Baltimore Police Department for simply putting their uniforms on and going to work every day when faced with such hatred by those they serve. False. Hang in there, BPD. Shame on every one of you who continue to blame the police and our state and federal government for refusing to accept responsibility for your own failures. It is laughable, for your own failures and your own perceived inequalities. Perceived? Come on. Oh, wow. Okay. Every man and woman has a damn good shot at succeeding in this country. You must be willing to get off your butt and work for it. Sick of this garbage. That's your man, Wicomico County Sheriff Mike Lewis. Now, if that doesn't sound like rings and sounds and tones of white privilege, I don't know what is. That's what it is. You know, go ahead, J-Mo. Go ahead, say what you got to say, bro.
Man, it's the same dude that came to Baltimore doing the riots with his team. And he proceeds to say, hey, we came to Baltimore to do our thing. And tonight, if these thugs start talking about black teenagers, of course, we gonna bring it to them. We gonna bring it to these thugs.
Right.
And then he goes on, Sean Hannity, the next week, talking about the mayor should have never told them to stand down because they were gonna bring it to these thugs.
Right.
Now this is a guy that's in an elected official, if you want to call him that, you know, that sits in Wicomico County, controlling the sheriff's department, in charge of a lot of huge drug raids and things here, carrying a badge, carrying a gun, and obviously, let's just put it out there, he has a hatred for black people, period. And I think election time, we need to, quote unquote, as the NAACP said, we need to get him out of office. But even now, we can get him out of office because there's a petition out there for him, change.org, to get this guy impeached. We got to get him out of there. There's no way we can keep a racist grand wizard in office that's elected to be in office that thinks this way in regard to African Americans. Period. Walking around with a badge and a gun, that's at the top of the department. We got to get this Bam out of there, for sure. He's a grand wizard, and he doesn't he doesn't try to cover it up either. He wants you to know. And for the news team that tried to interview him, he said he doesn't need an interview because his text, his post stood for itself, spoke for itself, so he don't need an interview.
Man, I mean, wait, he got it. Let me see. I think it's 4 paragraphs. So I'm going to address each one. The first paragraph, he talked about the crime rates. Well, first, before he talked about the crime rates, 2017, and he went on the call, you know, he saying fist wielding.
Right.
Black power activists, self-proclaimed underprivileged, poor.
Oh, yeah.
Took a knee while Baltimore City's homicide rate soared to a new high for 2017. Let's address that part. Now, for him to say those things that he said shows to me that, again, I go back to the white privilege statement I made earlier, because if you're going to talk about it, it seems to me that each and every time we address the issues with the police, anybody and it's not that we're anti-police, we're just pro-equality.
Right.
It's not the fact that we don't care about blacks, with us, the murders within, our communities, It's the fact that when the police murders one of us, kills one of us, there need to be repercussions for that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's our issue.
Right.
No one's not gonna ever stop crimes. No one's ever gonna stop murders. That's gonna be until the end of time. But what we can do is lock these folks up and hold them accountable.
Right.
Those who are killing these black kids, these black men, these black women,
right?
These black young ladies unjustly,
right?
There's a place that's why we have a criminal justice system, and that's what we're talking about. because it's a criminal injustice system. So that's the issue that we have. And see what they do when they don't want to deal with the situation, they keep trying to spin it and say, well, you worrying about cops killing blacks, but what about black on black crime? Well, that's white on white crime. You know what I mean? That's Hispanic on Hispanic crime. You kill who you're around, but there's a reason why they go. And then to say that we don't deal with that, we do deal with that. You know, but because he's in a position where the blue code,
right?
They don't tell on their own. You know what I mean?
That's right.
They stand by their own. Now, granted, now you may have some that come forward. Let's say I have some information, or I know some things, or what have you, about one of their officers. The first thing they do is he's no longer part of the crew now.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
That's right.
Gotta go. And it may not be blatantly. You know what I'm saying? It may be on some, you know, we're going to remove you from the street. We're going to put you behind a desk.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll slowly do it in some cases, in some instances. You know what I'm saying? They won't, they'll put them in the tougher neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Right.
To make them want to, I can't do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll do things to try to undermine their own if you come forward. You know some information on dirty cops.
That's right.
Or doing some things that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
But see, he's one of those type of cats, you know, and he's from Wicomico County. So how are you going to be from Wicomico County and speak on Baltimore City and what's going on there? And you're not on the front lines. You're not knowing what's going on there. The reason why the poverty rate is so low in Baltimore, the reason why the crime rate is so high, you equate crimes with poverty.
Right.
You equate that with the lack of funds, the lack of resources.
Right.
There's a reason why there's no killings and murders in Beverly Hills like there are in Baltimore City and Brooklyn and Philly and, you know, in different places, because it's economics.
Right.
Why are you going to kill in Hollywood when you have everything?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's all about economics. It's about, and then we take it to economics and we go all the way back. Let's start back to education. Now here we go. Governor Hogan, he had on his desk $11 million that could go to Baltimore City Public Schools. He accepted that.
Right.
$11 million would go to Baltimore City Public Schools. Then he went back and reneged on it and said, we don't have that in our budget. But then, just a month later, he gets on his desk a $30 million budget for opening a youth prison in Baltimore City.
Oh, yeah.
Accepted it.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you expect things to change? How do you expect us to address the issues of poverty, which leads to drugs, which leads to the murders, which leads to the whole street situation because of it?
Right.
Let's put it where it is. The majority of the murders in every city across America is related to economics and drugs.
That's right.
One way or another.
You better believe it.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that goes back to education, because if you take away the resources to allow these kids to have the same footing, the same opportunity, the same traction as the suburbs or the rural areas, that's why you don't see as much crime out there, because they have the money and the funding and the resources. You look at the schools, how much better they are. Even out here on the shore, people on the shore are so spoiled and really don't realize it until you go to a school in Baltimore City,
right,
in DC, in New York, in Philly, and see how those schools are. I used to work in DC schools and City Light School.
Okay.
And man, I'm gonna tell you, some of the classrooms, we had some classes that had heat, some didn't. Some had air, some didn't. We didn't have textbooks. We had to walk down the street, staff, we had to walk down the street, then you're talking 20, 30 degrees, to go make copies and Kinko's to give it to the kids, because we don't have funding for textbooks.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Now,
a lot of the resources, we wrote grants and did this and did that for, you know, monies for the schools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we would get a little baby check, or sometimes get denied, or we have to wait, we don't have the funding for that, we don't have this, we don't have that. Well, eventually, I worked for after school program. Eventually, our program got shut down because that money went to fund the war in Afghanistan.
Wow.
So, as opposed to funding these schools in DC, they sent that money to go fund the war.
Right.
So their priorities are not in the inner cities. So that's what leads to the crime. That you think they I don't know, these cats like the Mike Lewises, they think like we just like savages and just wake up and we just want to shoot and kill everybody.
Right.
That's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? And if they take the time to see what it was really going on, the root of it, they think, okay, we lock them all up and that's gonna solve everything. No, it's not. because that's not the root of it. The root of it is economics and the opportunity to have equal opportunity and education, which lead to you can either go to college or go to a trade. We had all those opportunities. And even in high school, they used to have plumbing. They used to have mechanics. You can go, mechanics. You can hair for the ladies. They can do go to the cosmetology school.
Absolutely.
They had those like right in the high schools and a lot of schools.
Yeah.
But they removed a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Because music, they took out a lot of the music classes where they actually had instruments. Now you gotta buy and pay for the instruments.
You better believe it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all that stuff, those things that are trades and tools that kids could use to further their education to go further. Now these private schools have all that.
Right.
A lot of that. A lot of them do. You know what I mean? Because they have the private funding for that. So when you have, the Hogans who disregard $11 million for Baltimore City education, but okays $30 million for youth prison, that lets you know where they believe the future's going to be.
You better believe it.
If you don't invest in education, prison is where they're going to go.
That's right.
So they're setting that up because they don't care about those kids.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So he's talking about, get up off your butt and work and do this and do that. That's easy for you to say.
Right.
Because you're so privileged. You got a silver spoon in your mouth. You starting, we doing a 100-yard dash. You on the 50 already.
Exactly.
We just
That's
started.
right.
We ain't even moved yet.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So for this cat to come like that, again, and he, in a way, I'm kind of glad these cats are coming out like that. Man.
Oh yeah.
So we can see where they stand.
That's where I'm at. Show your true colors. That's it. Because I'm gonna show you mine every time. That's it. Show your true colors.
True indeed.
We know you're a grand wizard. There ain't no question about
True
that.
indeed.
There ain't no question. You just showed them too many times. Now we're gonna show up election day though.
Yeah.
We're gonna show up election day and get you out of office.
Yep.
That's what we're gonna do.
That's where it's at.
That's it.
It's at, man. That's what we gotta do, man. People who think voting don't mean anything, doesn't matter, it does. But you gotta do your homework on these cats too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. So if you're listening, make sure you show up election 2018 because we're gonna get this guy out of office. If you want him out of office even sooner than that, go to change.org, put in Sheriff Mike Lewis, and sign a petition to get him out of office. I think the last time I looked at it was around 400, somewhere around that, 300-400 signatures. I think they're trying to get 500. We got to get this guy out of there.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
And that's it, man. A lot of people look at the presidential election and, look at that and the national elections. But locally, that's where it's most affects us, you know what I'm
that's
saying?
Right.
Because we got, you voting for, the schools and education, the school board, obviously the mayor, the city council, county council, all that, and the different memorandums and all those things locally that you vote for, and those affect us more so than the president does, and even on the state level.
Right. So
locally, we got to know what's going on locally, man. And so we get these road cops out of here like this cat, these sheriffs still got that 1950, 1960 mentality. We got to get them up out of there. And when they come forward the way he's coming forward, we can't just talk about it. Oh, you see what he said, or you heard what he said, like J Mo said, man. Change.org.
Oh yeah.
Go on there and make your voice heard. That's what you do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we got to make a ruckus about this, man, as much as they make a ruckus about us.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mike Lewis gotta go. You gotta go. Ain't no getting around now.
Yes,
you
indeed.
gotta go. That's it.
Yeah. Sunday, fun day. Turn your radios up. Donni-Oh, J-Mo, are you ready or what? 97.5, it's yours radio live. From 4 to 7, you can chill before it's back to your job. You decide on your Sunday moves so you can cool out and groove out to Sunday school. If you coming from the sand, stuck in OC traffic, Ill Kid, the mixtape boss with OG classics. Anything from BDP to DOC. And of course, taking the sports break with POV. You get the news, it's real, don't ever get it confused. If the word is in the street, we'll definitely bring it to you. Get in tune, Mr. Whitlock, Sheriff Dave Clark. They both blind, that's the reason why they stay lost. We for the people, that's the reason why we stay truest. Look at the coons, always trying to dance their way through it. If you got bars and send them in, just make sure it's clean and ill or give it a spin. If it's hot, then it's here. If not, it's gotta go. Hip hop and neo soul, J-Mo and Donni-Oh, let's go.